Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long. This is another Laker preview video, doing one for every game this season and kind of giving you some things to watch out for in the game, some matchups to watch. Getting right into it. The Charlotte Hornets, the Lakers going to be in Charlotte, taking them on. Second game of the Grammy road trip. So love to close this thing out before the All-Star break. Playing well. We saw what happened the last three games. We'll get into that a little bit later. But looking at Charlotte specifically, this team, you look from the outside and you go, oh, they're 12-30. They're not a very good team. This is a feisty team. This is a team, the kind of team the Lakers have had problems with the last few years, and especially this season, is teams that are young and can run and can kind of get after the Lakers' legs a little bit. This team they kind of have a mini big three going with Lamelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller is hurt. He's out for the rest of the season, unfortunately. So he won't be returning, but Lamelo Ball is unbelievable. 29 points per game, 13 assists per game. What he's been able to do, really carving out a just superstar role for himself. And Miles Bridges as well, about 19 points per game, leads the team with about 7 rebounds per game. I feel like if LaMelo and Miles Bridges played at another spot outside of Charlotte, they would really, their star power would be even more. You know, LaMelo has a huge star power because being in the Ball family, his brother Alonzo, LiAngelo, all that stuff, and LeVar. So he kind of gets the press, which he rightly deserves because he's an unreal player. But Miles Bridges, I think, is really underrated and is a really good player in this league. So they kind of run the show. That's the top two on the team with Brandon Miller out as well. And then you have Taj Gibson, which is crazy. He's still in the league. He started the last game for him. He's 39 years old. Obviously, all those years with the Bulls. He's just kind of there for a veteran presence. They got a lot of young players, though. Nick Smith Jr. out of Arkansas. He's a young player, about 6 points per game. Josh Green, another young player out of Arizona. He rounds out the starting lineup, about 7 points per game and 3 rebounds per game. So they're just trying to figure out kind of what they have. The bench has a little bit more veteran presence. Seth Curry, 34 years old, what he's been able to do, not the same shooter as his brother, but still, when he was with the Mavs and kind of bounced around the league a lot, you can always use a big three-point shooter. Josh Okogie also plays for this team. He's had some big games against the Lakers when he was with Phoenix. Another guy kind of bounced around the league, but veteran presence. Musa Diabate, nice young player for them as well. Daquan Jeffries, again, another young player, and Mičić as well. So they're just kind of trying to go as young as possible and see what they have for the future. Again, I don't think this team is actually that far off from being a kind of a threat in the Eastern Conference. You kind of have 3 superstars or 3 really good players, and if they were to surround them with kind of more of a bench and just round it out a little bit, the Eastern Conference outside of the top 4 of the in terms of maybe not record wise, but just this kind of the aura of the team, the Cavs, Boston, the Knicks. I guess you want to throw in the Bucks, or I guess Philly's really been struggling recently. But you think if they're all healthy, maybe they could give someone a run in the playoffs. But there's a lot of room to go up in the East. I mean, the East is not one. What the West is 1-12. The West is way deeper than the East, and I feel like Charlotte actually could be a decent team here in a year or so. But looking at this year, they're 12-30, as I mentioned. The last game they had a blowout win against the Pelicans. The bench put up 52 points in that game, so there's something to watch out for. Their bench does score and get a lot of run. About 5 guys average about 20 points per game, or 20 minutes per game, excuse me. So this is a team that goes pretty deep, but deeper than a lot of other teams. And then before that, they lost against Portland. They lost against Memphis. But then the previous 2 games before that, they had one against Dallas and one against Chicago. So, and this is a team also that they're 4th in rebounding. So they do rebound the ball very well. Kind of goes back to Miles Bridges. I mean, a forward that rebounds as well as he does, kind of a team rebounding mentality. They are 28th in the league in offense, but they attempt the 4th most threes per game. So this is a team that's not really ever out of a game. They're young. The Lakers, this is the first of a back-to-back. So Lakers really need to bring it and make sure that you put away a team that the Lakers should beat this team. The Lakers should win the game. But again, what we've been talking about is that consistency that I feel like that's what's been so exciting about the previous 3 games is you blow out a Washington team that you're supposed to blow out, and people don't really give you credit for it because Washington's a terrible team, worst team in the NBA. You blow out Boston at home. Boston closes 6.5-point favorites going into that game. Huge win. And it was like, how are you going to follow that up? Going on the road trip, playing Golden State, even though Golden State's been struggling recently, Steph Curry still, even though Buddy Hield's been struggling, they still got shooters with him and Dennis Schroeder and former Lakers and guys like that. I know they had some injuries with Kuminga and Green out, but still in the Bay, always a tough game. The Lakers favored by 1.5 in that game. and they put on a huge performance in the fourth quarter and win handily. And to shut Steph Curry down, he had 13 points in the first half, 0 points in the second half, 0 for 8 in the second half. They kind of threw everyone at Curry. They let Christie guard him, they let Vando guard him, they let a ton of guys get after him, Dorian Finney-Smith. It's going to be interesting to see how they attack kind of Lamelo tonight, because Lamelo is the same kind of, Curry's in a class of his own, but Lamelo is a young superstar, and it really goes through him. As I mentioned, 29 points per game, 13 assists per game. Are they going to stick Christie on him? Are they going to stick Vando on him? Finney-Smith? Are they going to throw everyone at him? I think it was huge what we saw in that game about the defense in the second half by Vando and Finney-Smith. It was so cool getting to see them on the floor together. It was just cool seeing Vando back in general. But what they were able to do is you have two guys who are a massive amount of length. You have, and they were able to really kind of stifle the Warriors' comeback with AD on the bench for a lot of that fourth quarter. They were giving AD a lot of rest in case he needed to come back in to kind of close it out, because Finney-Smith and Vando gave you that kind of two elite on-ball defenders, and they let LeBron do his thing and the rest of them, versus in the past, it felt like there was always either one elite on-ball defender and AD needed to be out there to be, swatting things away at the rim, and in case they blew by Reeves or the guards. It's fun what this team's going to be able to do, what JJ's going to be able to do with with Vando and Finney-Smith and Christie and Reddish. If he ever gets run, his minutes have kind of gone down recently. Vando said on the game, he said a little bit, I knew I might be a little rusty coming in as far as rhythm and knowing the plays and all that stuff. So my main goal was to go out there and play hard, bring the energy, and then everything else, just control the controllables, and everything else will play its hand. I thought he played great. And it's going to be interesting to see how they attack Lamelo, as I was mentioning there. This is an interesting part in the season for the Lakers, because you 3-game win streak, you shut Curry down the second half, you win that game. Now you got Charlotte, and you got a week before the Grammys, the All-Star break, next week, and then this is the Grammy road trip. Playing Charlotte, Vegas currently has the Lakers as 5.5-point favorites. The total set at 222.5. Then you got Philly, then you got Washington, then you got the Knicks. So those are at least 3 games that you should be favored in. I don't know about the Knicks line. We'll see, because it is in New York. So, maybe they have a slight favorite there. The Knicks are a good basketball team, but still, you're definitely going to be, you're favored against Charlotte. You're going to be favored against the Wizards, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be favored against the Sixers as well. This is a real opportunity for the Lakers to kind of build a little bit of standing in the West. That 5 through 12 is so close. Even though the Lakers are sitting high up on it, they're at 5. They're, a losing streak could put you right back down there towards the bottom, and it would be nice to see the Lakers kind of extend that lead and try to go and really secure their spot, and not even looking at the play-in, but looking at a legit playoff spot where the Lakers can get some rest at the end of the year. You want to win these games that you're supposed to win, but this is a feisty team. Hopefully the Lakers don't look ahead. Quick look at the injury report. The Hornets, Trey Mann's out. Cody Martin is a nice player. He played in Nevada. Out. Or the core tight end is Grant Williams, former Boston Celtics. Elite defensive player, 3-point specialist. He's out, and Brandon Miller, as I mentioned, are all out. On the Lakers side, LeBron and AD are both probable. Kind of same thing with LeBron, left foot injury management, and right calf soreness for Anthony Davis, but they're both probable going to play. But there are some interesting parts for the Lakers down the depth chart a little bit. Rui Hachimura, left calf soreness, and Gabe Vincent, left knee soreness, are both questionable. Shafino and Wood are out. So if those guys don't play, we'll see what happens here later on today when it becomes official. You're going to need Christie to step up. Going to need Reeves to step up. Going to need a lot of other guys in this lineup to really, your Finney-Smith's going to have to score. And Vando, second game back, but he probably needs to get a couple buckets in there, because you want to make sure you're kind of picking up that slack if Rui and Gabe are out. Hopefully at least one of them play. It'd be not great if both of them are out, because especially with Vando, you don't want to give him too many minutes, because you kind of just want to work him back into the lineup. But again, the Lakers should win. Hopefully they do. Alan's going to get you guys on the post-game show after the game. Hopefully we're talking about a Laker W. And then we'll have another preview video back for the Sixer game coming up tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Hope everyone has a good day, and go Lakers.